Gothic Architecture by LilianaMaya. Located north of Paris sits the Royal Abbey of St. Denis. This is said to be the place where the Gothic style all began. The eccentric and egocentric Abbot Suger initiated the Gothic style of architecture characterized by a new lightness of proportion and sense of flowing space. The pointed Gothic arches exert less lateral thrust than the Romanesque semicircular arches, and the ribs reinforce the vaults. Gothic or French style. Starting about 1140 in France, Gothic art was originally called French style and primarily referred to architecture. Goth refers to the Goths, a group of Germanic barbarians who invaded most of the Roman Empire. When the people of the 12th century called Abbot Suger's new church Gothic, they meant it was unrefined, barbarian, and definitely non-Roman. Paris, France was an important site of artistic inspirations to the rest of France, and to the rest of Europe, really. By the middle of the 16th century, the Gothic style was ending in France, although the rest of Europe was still expanding in art with the Gothic style. The Gothic style developed out of the Romanesque. Romanesque buildings were broad and massive. They were characterized by semicircular arches, thick walls, and closely spaced supports. Meanwhile, the Gothic style was confident and daring, characterized by soaring quality. The vertical structure is constantly emphasized, and the walls are thin compared to the Romanesque buildings. The tremendous height of buildings was a reflection of religious ideals and enthusiasm. Elements in Gothic architecture: pointed arches and vaults, ribs, and flying buttresses. Gothic architects used new techniques that made possible the construction of larger, higher, and brighter buildings than the Romanesque cathedrals. Pointed arches and vaults that exert less lateral thrust than the semicircular Romanesque arches and vaults. The pointed rib vault can be constructed in a variety of floor plans and, in theory, built to any height. Ribs that serve to concentrate the weight of the vault at certain points, making it possible to eliminate the wall between these points, is one of the characteristics of the Gothic architecture. Another structural innovation that characterizes the Gothic architecture is the flying buttresses. The flying buttresses were introduced in response to the problem created by the lateral thrust exerted by a true vault. The idea of a buttress, a solid mass of masonry used to reinforce a wall, was an old one, but the flying part, the exterior arch, was an invention of the Gothic era. Flying buttresses project outward on the exterior of the building and cannot be seen from the inside through the stained glass windows. Gothic architecture outside France. Salisbury Cathedral. Typical of early English Gothic, Salisbury is sprawling in plan, surrounded by a green lawn, and makes little use of flying buttresses, as opposed to French Gothic cathedrals, which are typically compact in plan, located in the city center, and rely on flying buttresses for structural support. Italy was little affected by the Gothic style. Instead of the elaborate buttresses system and large windows popular in the north, Italian architects favored large wall surfaces with emphasis on the horizontal, as is evident in the landmarks of the city of Florence, its cathedral, bell tower, and baptistry. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. There's plenty more about Gothic architecture. There's just so much to choose from, and I picked the ones that were most important to me. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.